Coming up on this hour of Chris 6 Sunrise, all eyes are on Texas as the state debates over redistricting. Scripps News Group Joe St. George will join us with the very latest. Plus,
a male that was able to set on fire, as well as a gas pump and himself.
We'll hear from witnesses to Tuesday's fire at a gas station on the south side, what they saw before it all happened. Plus,
San Patricio County is reimbursing those who helped during the Sinton fires, including first responders. I'm Victoria Valderrama. I'll show you how that money is being put to good use.
good morning, folks. Welcome to Chris 6 Sunrise. Thank you so much for starting your day with the Hoffmans. I'm Michelle Hoffman.
And I'm Brian Hoffman. Oh man, we are almost there. It's Thursday. I can feel the weekend already. It's calling our names. And let's go ahead and call the name of Miss Julia Quitty. She does join us in the studio with a look at the forecast plus the traffic right now. How's it going, Julia?
Hey there, good morning, you guys. So yeah, things are gonna feel warmer for us already beginning on this Thursday morning. We got that moisture finally arriving for us in the coastal bend, so we're all gonna see that reflected in our temperatures kicking us off right now. But first, let's go ahead and get into our traffic flow maps here for what you can expect for your traffic flow heading out the door. Heading on Ocean Drive down to SPID and on Saratoga, all three of those roadways are moving pretty well this morning with no traffic issues or hiccups in sight. Moving on over towards Flower Bluff, a little bit of a different situation right now. You can see there's a little bit of a medium to slow speed that you'll encounter heading in both directions at this moment on Walden Road, so just make sure you keep that in mind. All clear though for your drive heading on Flower Bluff Drive, and a little bit of a medium slow speed too when you get closer towards the gate at NES Corpus Christi. Heading on over towards nearby the JFK Causeway going to from the island though, again looking at pretty easy driving conditions right now starting you off on this Thursday morning. Also quickly want to mention that looking at our visibility across the area, things are much better this morning compared to yesterday. Again, still tied to that increase of moisture starting to build here in the coastal bend. Now that's going to make our feel like temperatures really skyrocket by this afternoon, and I'll have the details on that coming up.
Thank you so much, Julia. Appreciate it. So we're going to be checking back in with you in a little bit, but first, news from our state capitol. The proposed redistricting map for the state's 38 seats in the U.S. House of Representatives has been released. The map would give Republicans an additional 5 seats in the House, and based on the 2024 election results, that is. And going off that 2024 data, the map features 30 districts that Trump would have won in 2024. That's up from 27 under current district lines. There are also 5 more seats that he would have won by more than 10 points. Scripps News Group Joe St. George is going to join us at 6:12 with the very latest on Texas's redistricting. And happening today, a Texas Select Committee on Disaster Preparedness and Flooding will hold a meeting in Kerrville. The meeting comes less than a month after the flash flooding in that area killed more than 100 people, including young campers. State lawmakers will discuss legislation that includes emergency warning systems, flood safety requirements for youth camps, and disaster recovery loan programs for small businesses. 2 people are still considered missing after the July 4th floods, including one of the young girls from Camp Mystic.
Here in your neighborhood, it was a gruesome scene at a gas station on the south side. Witnesses say a man set himself on fire while at the gas pump. And now we're hearing from one who saw it firsthand. On Tuesday afternoon, Jose Perez had just finished pumping gas at the Stripes on Airline and SPID when he heard splashing sounds on the other side. That's when he noticed a man drenching himself and his car in gasoline. Perez drove away quickly, and that's when he saw the unimaginable.
I saw him pull out his lighter and start lighting the floor on fire, and it was pretty quick, honestly, from 1 second to the next. I saw the kids running out of the car. They had a cat with them, and he lit himself on fire.
Firefighters and medics arrived at the scene and put the flames out. The man was taken to the Bay Area Medical Center, where he was later airlifted to Brooke Army Medical Center. The fire department is now investigating. Now, folks, you can watch the full interview of the fire witnesses on our website, christv.com, or on our Chris 6 News YouTube channel.
I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Victoria Valderrama. Following Sinton's devastating fires in March, more than $28,000 will be reimbursed to volunteer fire departments like Ingleside VFD. That's what was discussed at Monday's San Patricio County Commissioners Court meeting. The board voted to accept grant terms and conditions for the Welder Fire reimbursement process. The request totaling over $104,000. 4 volunteer fire departments and 1 EMS agency applied for reimbursement. The county will receive the money from the state before distributing it to the volunteer fire departments. In Ingleside, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Victoria Valderrama for Chris 6 News.
Hey there, good morning. Happy Thursday. Heading out the door, you're already going to be able to feel a difference right now as that moisture is beginning to increase in the coastal bend. That's going to lead towards our air temperatures already kicking up a few notches this morning compared to yesterday morning. And by this afternoon, we're looking at a completely different story. Still going to be hot, still looking at near record high temperatures, but now we're adding humidity and mugginess to that component. So we'll see our feel like temperatures reach nearby 110 degrees throughout some neighborhoods, particularly inland portions of the coastal bend by this afternoon. But right now, let's go ahead and get into what our current conditions right now look like heading out the door. Heading in Corpus Christi right now, sitting at 73 degrees, 74 over in Beeville, 82 degrees is your temperature in Port Aransas, 80 in Rockport, 76 degrees right now over in Alice. Right now, looking at our wind speeds, again, things are fairly calm for the most part, still coming in from the southwest at the very most at this point. Thankfully, though, with that moisture increase, we're looking at much improved visibility across the board, so don't have to deal with too much of that dense patchy fog that we had to endure yesterday morning. Not going to be in the forecast for us today, tied towards that increase in moisture in the area. Now, looking at our temperature change, though, always looking at slight increase in our temperatures waking up this morning compared to yesterday as well. Anywhere between 3 or up to 8 degrees warmer throughout some neighborhoods across the coastal bend at this moment compared to how we woke up and started our day yesterday on our Wednesday. Looking at our moisture tracker here, we can see that influx of moisture pushing its way into the coastal bend. It's expected to linger into the area all throughout tomorrow into your Friday and for this upcoming weekend. So we're not going to see too much of a change from this added heat now tied toward that humidity to be expected to linger now in the forecast for the next few days into next week. Now, right now, looking at our hourly planner here, we can see those temperatures increasing towards those upper 90s by 2 o'clock this afternoon, eventually reaching our afternoon high temperature nearby 98 or 99 degrees by this afternoon as well between the 2 and 4 o'clock hour, then decreasing towards those 80s as we look ahead towards 10 o'clock. Now, we can expect a little bit more cloud cover coming into our skies, again, also tied towards that moisture and humidity. So while things are still going to be hot, we'll just see a couple more extra passing clouds in the area. But either way, feel like temperatures still reaching nearby 106 degrees for us here in Corpus Christi, while in other neighborhoods, again, potentially reaching nearby 110 degrees for your feel like temperatures. But quickly going over what that means for us, remember, we're just going to be nearby that advisory range, or that criteria rather specifically, to see heat advisories potentially go into place. Thankfully, right now, that doesn't look to be the case, but right now, looking at your 7-day forecast, still got a lot of heat and humidity on the way.
Cowboy culture runs deep in South Texas, but this week, a trail ride happening here in Corpus Christi is putting the spotlight on parts of that history that's often overlooked. I'm Alexis Scott, showing you this celebration of Black heritage.
Well, the Texas legislature continues to debate over redistricting. Coming up on Sunrise Scripps News Group's Joe St. George will join us and talk more about how is it going to affect the taxpayer. Welcome back, everyone. 6:11 is your time on this Thursday morning. We're taking a live look from our studio. Skycam looks pretty gorgeous right now. Sun's just about to peek out of those clouds. You're going to be checking in with Master Meteorologist Julia Quady. She's standing by to look at forecast. But first, we head to Washington, where all eyes are on Texas, as the state legislature just released a proposed redistricting map. And now more states are actually thinking about redistricting, including California.
To talk more about this, we have Scripps News Group Deputy Political Director Joe St. George joining us. Good morning, Joe. So with all this talk about map drawing, can you tell us how this is going to be costly for taxpayers?
Well, good morning. You know, we've been talking about this a lot in recent weeks. I think what's important for people waking up in Texas to know is this isn't just a Texas story anymore. At first glance, yes, this is a Texas story, right? This could impact representation where you live. It could impact your member of Congress. It's going to potentially impact how many Democrats versus Republicans represent Texas in the House of Representatives in future years. But this has ballooned into a much much bigger story. The question on legality, yes, states can draw maps. They've got to be careful, though, with various Voting Rights Act, other federal laws in place, not to gerrymander too much based on race or other factors. But again, it's perfectly legal to suggest new maps here. What will be interesting today is how do national Democrats plan on fighting this with their partners, Democrats in the state house in Austin. That's the big question. Representative Hakeem Jeffries, who leads Democrats in the House, he'll be holding a press conference in Texas a little bit later this morning, 10 a.m. Central Time. We should get some more clarity there on how Democrats are going to fight this. There's been some chatter Democrats could maybe flee the state to try and shut down this special session that's been happening in Austin. Just to catch you up again on what's transpired in the last 24 hours, currently there are 25 Republicans that represent Texas in the U.S. House of Representatives. President Trump and his political team thinks there could be more if there's new maps. That new map dropped, or at least the proposed map has dropped, that shows 30 congressional districts in Texas in which President Trump won in 2024. Now, Republicans are betting a bit here. We saw shifts amongst Latino and Hispanic voters in 2024 towards President Trump. That they're factoring that in a bit in how they're redrawing these maps, but Trump's not on the ballot next year, so we'll see if that risk ultimately pays off or not. We've been saying how this is a national story, and here's how. California, they're thinking about doing the exact same thing, this time to favor Democrats. Meanwhile, in Florida yesterday, the governor of Florida said stay tuned when he talked about redistricting and even hinted that maybe a new census could be on the horizon because he didn't think the last census was fair, counted too many undocumented immigrants. He thought Florida deserves another congressional seat. Remember, the census is what dictates how many congressional seats each state has. A census, a very costly proposition potentially for taxpayers. So we'll continue to follow this. Not just a Texas story, guys. The whole country's watching. And I think there's going to be domino effects here, potentially other states doing the exact same thing as what's happening in Austin.
Well, Joe, thank you so much for the information.
I appreciate your insight as always, sir. Looking forward to talking again very soon.
Hey there, good morning. Happy Thursday. So we have some subtle changes on the way for us in the forecast by way more moisture coming into the coastal bend. Now, with this moisture arriving today, it's going to do a few things for us. We'll see a change in our temperatures by this morning, already waking up to a few degrees warmer right now compared to yesterday morning. We'll see a little bit more cloud cover in our skies throughout the day, and we'll see a significant increase in our feel light temperatures, reaching nearby 110 degrees throughout some neighborhoods by this afternoon. So, in all, more heat on the way, either way you look at it. Right now, taking a look at our moisture tracker here, we can see where that moisture is currently sitting. A couple small hues of green starting to approach parts of the coastal bend. Is going to continue for us throughout the day today, heading towards tomorrow and your Friday, and for this upcoming weekend. More hues of green coming to the map. Rain chances are not looking promising at all for us here in the coastal bend to end our work week, or even looking ahead to the early part of next week. Right now, maybe the most I should say that we can hope for is maybe with the help of the sea breeze, giving a couple passing showers maybe throughout some neighborhoods. But other than that, no significant rainfall is expected in the extended forecast right now. But looking at our temperature change over the next past 24 hours, I should say, we're looking at our temperatures greatly increasing for us this morning, anywhere between 3 or even up to 8 degrees warmer at this hour compared to where we were at this point yesterday. Again, all due to that moisture pushing its way into the coastal bend. So we can see that, again, reflecting our current temperatures across the area, reaching towards those low to mid 70s or lower 80s for areas that are closer towards the coast, including Rockport, Ingleside, and over in Port Aransas. So again, things already off towards a warm start for us on this Thursday. Looking at our planner, again, looking at extra cloud cover in our skies throughout the morning and heading towards this upcoming afternoon. You can see those temperatures increase towards those upper 80s by 11 o'clock this morning, already hitting those 90s, mid 90s by 1 o'clock this afternoon. Between, of course, 2 and 4 o'clock, we'll see those afternoon high temperatures reaching nearby 98 degrees here in Corpus Christi. But those feel light temperatures, those are going to be a little bit more added towards that dangerous factor for for us here today and for this upcoming weekend, reaching nearby 106 degrees here in Corpus Christi by this afternoon. Again, to highlight other neighborhoods expecting their feel-like temperatures, potentially inland neighborhoods, seeing those values reach nearby 110 degrees. So of course that makes sense that our heat risk is increasing for today, reaching towards that major zone for inland portions of Coastal Bend. That's also going to start to extend throughout some eastern areas and eastern counties as we look ahead towards tomorrow and for your upcoming weekend on your Saturday. And also seeing us starting to witness a couple splotches of purple coming to the map, noting that we'll have that level 4 out of 4 extreme risk of heat danger coming in. So we'll be needing to keep heat safety in mind all throughout the rest of our work week, heading towards this weekend and even to the early start of next week.
I'm Tony Jaramillo on the south side. Behind me is the construction site for what will be a big safety boost for south side residents.
And back to school is around the corner. Coming up on Sunrise, we have the details on the state's tax-free weekend and details on free physicals for the upcoming school year. Welcome back, folks. Back to school is just a few weeks away for some students, which means the state's annual sales tax holiday is just around the corner. It will begin Friday, August 8th and runs through midnight Sunday, August 10th. Back to school items will be sales tax free, and that includes things like school supplies, clothing, shoes, and backpacks priced under $100. Items placed on layaway will also be sales tax free.
And if you happen to have a student in your family that plans to take part in athletics this year, free physicals will be offered today, just in time for the new school year. The free physicals will be from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. over the auxiliary small gym at the Veterans Memorial High School. Students must have their UIL medical history form completed and signed. The event is sponsored by county commissioners Brent Chesney and Joe A. Gonzalez.
Alrighty, good morning. Now taking a live look outside of our first Community Bank Skycam atop the USS Lexington. We can see traffic flows happening on both the new and old harbor bridges. Heading on, of course, the new harbor bridge, you're looking at conditions looking to be a little bit more busy, but still easy flowing traffic flow going north and southbound. And of course, things are moving well if you're heading northbound on the old harbor bridge nearby the North Beach area. Let's go ahead and take a look on the other side of town now and see what your traffic flow is looking like. Heading on the JFK Causeway going to and from the island, you can see things are looking to be pretty good. All shades of green indicating that you have some fast flowing traffic flow. Heading on over to Flower Bluff, got some improvement over the past few minutes. Now just looking at a bit of a mixture of slow to medium speed heading on one direction on Walton Road, all clear on Flower Bluff Drive, and just a bit of a medium speed getting a little bit closer towards the gate. Now moving on over towards downtown, all clear on Ocean Drive down to SPID and on Saratoga, making for easy traffic flow on those 3 roadways this morning. That's it for Traffic Report. With details in your forecast coming up.
Extending a helping hand. I'm Adam Beam in Portland, looking at the opportunity for Coastal Bend residents to get healthy at no cost.
Take it from there, do it, it's free.
Now, weather on the 6s.
Hey there, good morning, happy Thursday, and welcome back. Taking a live look outside now off our Snoopy's Pier Skycam, sponsored by CCAC. Can make out a little bit more extra cloud cover due to that moisture increase coming into the coastal bend. So we'll see a few things happening for us as a result of that. Right now, taking this view, you can see we got a little bit more clouds in our skies this morning. It's going to linger ahead for us by this afternoon, but also it's going to cause a bit of an increase in our temperatures this morning. Already waking up here to Corpus Christi with a temperature of 73 degrees, so a few degrees warmer at this point, at this time, compared to yesterday morning at this time. And we'll also see a bit of an influx with our feel-like temperatures reaching nearby 110 degrees throughout some neighborhoods in the area by the time we reach this afternoon. So again, all that attributed towards that moisture increase right now, pushing its way into the coastal bend. But let's go ahead and get into what else you can expect in your forecast today at a glance here. Right now, again, looking at that increase in moisture, adding towards more humidity and more mugginess. So we'll also see an influx in our dew point values. I'll show you those indices or values in just a few more moments. Looking at our heat indices that we can expect for today, like I mentioned, we're going to have an increase of our feel-like temperatures reaching nearby 110 degrees, especially for inland neighborhoods, also tied towards that moisture increase. So we're going to see that things are still going to be hot, of course, for us. We'll still be looking at near record high temperatures temperatures in those upper 90s, but now we're just adding humidity to that equation. So it's still going to be hot, and now we just got more humidity and moisture included in that picture. So right now, looking at our temperatures and feel like temperatures across the area, like I mentioned, all these values now going to be maybe 2 to 3, maybe up to 5 degrees warmer at this hour compared to yesterday morning due to that moisture coming into the area. So most of us sitting towards those low to mid or to upper 70s, I should say, and lower 80s for areas that are along the coast. But looking at our dew point values yesterday, for the most part, we were sitting nearby that muggy zone. So that means we were in the 60s. Now all of us well into that oppressive range into the lower 70s or even upper 70s for areas that are along the coast here in the coastal bend. So that lets you know, big picture wise, that moisture and humidity is already causing an influx with our dew point values, and that's why that translates towards our air temperatures as well towards our feel like temperatures by this afternoon. And looking at our dew point change over the last 24 hours, all of us for the most part sitting anywhere nearby 3, 7, or even up to 8 degrees warmer for our feel like temperatures, or I should say our dew point values rather, compared to yesterday. Now, thankfully, that moisture is actually going to cause a positive note, at least one positive note in our forecast today, and that's going to be our visibility across the board looking much better compared to yesterday. Yesterday dealing with that dense patchy fog, so not going to be a part of the picture, thankfully, in our forecast, so easier time getting our morning started, particularly for inland and more northern neighborhoods. Looking at our hour-by-hour forecast, increasing towards those upper 80s by 11 o'clock this morning, then getting towards those 90s by noon and lunchtime. Then we'll be approaching our afternoon high temperature a little bit after 1 o'clock, so we'll see our temperatures increasing in that range towards 95 up to 98 degrees for our forecast high here in Corpus Christi. But like I mentioned, with those feel like temperatures ranging nearby 110 degrees, as you can imagine, heat risk is still going to be in our forecast going up towards that major zone, especially for more inland neighborhoods. Ahead for us tomorrow and our Friday, you can see a couple splotches of purple beginning to pop up in the map for more inland portions of South Texas, noting that that's that extreme risk of heat danger coming into the area. So things are just going to get more hot and oppressive for us day by day leading towards this upcoming weekend. So just please make sure you're practicing heat safety because this heat is not going anywhere right now. We were dealing with dry heat to begin our work week. Now we're looking at humidity, making things feel all the more oppressive and heavy when you head outdoors. So just make sure you're practicing that heat safety as that sunshine continues to come to the area, now with humidity added towards that oppressive heat.
Showing support this World Breastfeeding Week. I'm Michaela Chavez, and I'll show you how some upcoming events are hoping to help families here in the Coastal Bend.
Now, say hello to your neighbors. This is your Chris 6 News Sunrise Shoutouts.
Good morning. Hello, Chris 6 Sunrise team with the Foul Furious Police Department. We want to wish our neighbors across the Coastal Bend a great morning and a great day.
Hey, we want to say good morning to our neighbors at the Foul Furious Police Department as well. We hope you guys also have a wonderful day. And folks, if you want to send us your own shout out video, all you have to do is scan the QR code on your screen or go to our website, christv.com.
On the days after the deadly flash floods in Texas, our Scripps viewers, they really stepped up. They donated over $110,000 to help impacted communities recover.
Yes, Scripps News Group Stephanie Liebergen gives us a look at one of the nonprofits your donations will help.
After a natural disaster, communities need a lot of support to help with everything from clearing debris to rebuilding. And part of that challenge is connecting generous donations to the charities on the ground that can help. The Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country serves a 10-county region and acts like a funnel for donations. They take in money and distribute it to vetted nonprofits.
We've got a job to do to support this community in the best way we can. And for us, that's a philanthropic way. We are in the business of raising money for this community because we're going to need it to fulfill the long-term recovery efforts that are in front of us.
Their Kerr County Flood Relief Fund has received over $60 million in donations, and they've already distributed 2 rounds of grant funding. Some of those early funds ended up in the hands of restaurant owner Tomas Valdez.
We're right under the kitchen, and the kitchen flooded to waist high, so all of this was completely underwater.
Flooded. Valdez owns 1011 Bistro in Kerrville, and it sits right on the Guadalupe River.
July 4th, when we got here and walked into the restaurant, it was just like terrible. I imagined it was going to be bad, but it was just a lot worse.
There's no timeline yet on how long rebuilding will take or how much it will cost. Without flood insurance coverage, Valdez and his team will have to come up with every penny, but he is not giving up.
Are you committed to reopening?
Yes, I am.
The road to recovery is long, and the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country is grateful for the millions of dollars in donations that will help make this community whole again. Stephanie Liebergen, Scripps News Group, Kerrville, Texas.
Hey there, good morning. Happy Thursday. So let's go ahead and take a look what you expect in your forecast at our planner here. We're looking at a little bit more cloud cover coming into the forecast due to that increase in moisture beginning to push its way into the coastal bend today. But that's also going to cause a bit of an increase in our feel-like temperatures as well, reaching nearby 110 degrees throughout some neighborhoods. Air temperatures will still be nearby record highs into the upper 90s, expecting a high temperature of 98 degrees here in Corpus Christi. By this afternoon, reaching those upper 90s already by 2 o'clock, and of course anywhere between 2 and 4 o'clock, that's when we'll see those afternoon high temperatures reached. And then looking at our winds coming in from the southeast, going anywhere between 10 up to 15 miles an hour, so a little bit of a gentle breeze to hopefully counteract some of that intense and brutal humidity and heat that we'll have to deal with today. Heat danger and heat risk is still going to be a part of our forecast. Now looking at that major risk beginning to extend throughout other eastern counties in the coastal bend ahead for us tomorrow and for our upcoming weekend on your Saturday. Also seeing a couple splotches of purple coming to the map, noting that that's level 4 out of 4, that extreme risk of heat danger coming into the forecast beginning for us on our weekend. So that heat isn't going anywhere. It's still going to be very oppressive and dangerous. So please make sure you continue to practice heat safety for any of those outdoor weekend activities that you might have, because that heat, again, is sticking around for us this weekend and for the early part of next week.
From Chris 6, this is 20 minutes of non-stop news.
Thank you so much for joining us, guys, for our 20 minutes of nonstop news with the Hoffmans. I'm Brian Hoffman.
And I'm Michelle Hoffman. We'll check in with meteorologist Julia Quady in just a bit. But first, it was a gruesome scene at a gas station on the south side. Witnesses say a man set himself on fire while at the gas pump. And now we're hearing from one who saw it firsthand. On Tuesday afternoon, Jose Perez had just finished pumping gas at the Stripes on Airline and SPID when he heard splashing sounds on the other side. That's when he noticed a man drenching himself and his car in gasoline. Perez drove away quickly, and that's when he saw the unimaginable.
I saw him pull out his lighter and start lighting the floor on fire, and like it was pretty quick, honestly. From 1 second to the next, I saw the kids running out of the car. They had a cat with them, and he like lit himself on fire.
Firefighters and medics arrived at the scene and put the flames out. The man was taken to Bay Area Medical Center, where he was later airlifted to Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio. The fire department is now investigating. Now, folks, if you want to see the full interview of the fire witness on our website, go to our website, ChrisTV.com, or on our Chris 6 News Channel YouTube page.
Well, the Inner Harbor desal project is on pause for 30 days as City Council waits for the Texas Water Development Board to respond to some key questions. So Council member Carolyn Vaughn wrote the letter with Council members Eric Cantu, Sylvia Campos, and Gil Hernandez signing on. They want to know if funding for the project can be redirected, what the repayment terms would be, and whether additional grants are even available. The 30-day pause gives the city time to get answers and possibly rethink the future of the project. The decision could have major implications for Corpus Christi's water future.
This is a generational decision. You put $1 billion of debt on the backs of residents. It's, they're going to be paying that off for the next 30 years.
With state support in doubt and a $1 billion decision on the line, Council's next vote could shape the region's water supply for decades. The next vote is scheduled for August 26th. For more information on the Inner Harbor desal plant, you can always head to our website, KRISTV.com. We have been keeping tabs on this story for a while now. And now it's time for your neighborhood check-in.
I'm Tony Jaramillo, your neighborhood news reporter on the South Side. According to this open records request, there have been nearly 300 gun-related incidents in these zip codes. Why does that matter? The city just broke ground on a new police substation for residents in those zip codes. The city of Corpus Christi is adding a new tool to fight crime on the South Side, a state-of-the-art police substation. The 7,300 square foot building will be the first of its kind south of SPID, offering community access. Voters approved the project in both Bond 2022 and Bond 2024. Between 2022 and March of 2025, nearly 300 gun-related incidents were reported in 78413 and 78414, including 6 murders and 4 officer-involved shootings. Arkell says the substation will cut down on response time. Work on the substation is expected to wrap up by July of 2026. On the South Side, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Tony Jaramillo, KRIS 6 News.
Your neighborhood news reporter, Victoria Valderrama. Following Sinton's devastating fires in March, more than $28,000 will be reimbursed to volunteer fire departments like Ingleside VFD. That's what was discussed at Monday's San Patricio County Commissioners Court meeting. The board voted to accept grant terms and conditions for the Welder Fire reimbursement process. The request totaling over $104,000. 4 volunteer fire departments and 1 EMS agency applied for reimbursement. The county will receive the money from the state before distributing it to the volunteer fire departments. In Ingleside, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Victoria Valderrama for KRIS 6 News.
Moving the city forward. I'm Ana Conejo in Sinton, introducing you to a new initiative aimed to boost sales and city exposure.
Sinton business owners are teaming up to revive their small town through an initiative called Sinton Forward. They're planning events and promoting local shops to draw in visitors and rebuild a stronger sense of community, all to put Sinton back on the map. They're inviting business owners from Sinton and surrounding areas to join the movement and make a difference.
The first ever trail ride is coming to Corpus Christi this weekend.
It'll take place from Friday to Saturday at the South Texas Race Ranch on Old Brownsville Road. The first trail ride happened in 1952 when the first Saltgrass Trail Ride made its way from Brenham to Houston. More than 70 years later, the tradition is still going and has now made its way to Corpus Christi. For more details about the event and the history behind trail rides, go to KRISTV.com.
We all want to stay healthy, but sometimes the costs can scare folks away. I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Adam Beam, at the event organized to help residents live a better life without draining their wallets.
In Portland alone, 16% of residents are medically uninsured.
They go unchecked. They don't have the money to go to a health clinic.
The Texas Energy Advocates Coalition decided to step in to help make these essential services available to everyone. The free clinic offering services as simple as healthy diet education.
To this bus right here, even offering mammograms to those who need it.
Aurelia Alaniz has always cared about the health of others. Utilizing the free services, Alaniz encourages the rest of the Coastal Bend do the same.
Do it. It's free.
Hey there, good morning. Happy Thursday. We're almost there, making it to the weekend. But as we approach the weekend, we have a couple changes coming in the forecast beginning today with that moisture increasing back into the area. So it's going to lead to a little bit more cloud cover in our skies by this morning and throughout this afternoon, and a huge increase in our feel like temperatures reaching nearby 110 degrees by this afternoon. Right now, let's go ahead and take a look at our view from our Snoopy Spear Skycam sponsored by CCAC, where you can see the added bit of cloud cover right now coming in our skies along with that sunrise. So again, those clouds will stick around, all due towards that influx of moisture pushing its way into the Coastal Bend right right now at this moment. And it's going to continue to linger in the area ahead for us tomorrow on our Friday and lasting for this upcoming weekend. So that means that the picture of today's forecast is going to be consistent for us tomorrow and for all this upcoming weekend. That heat really going to start to build on up, and our feel like temperatures really get all the more oppressive and dangerous for us by this weekend as well. Right now, taking a look at our current dew point values across the area, things have warmed up significantly as it relates towards those numbers as well. Yesterday, mostly sitting towards that muggy zone into the 60s. Today, well into those 70s across the coastal bend for our current dew point values. That also paints that picture of that humidity that's continued to increase in the area. Also, we got that temperature change. So across the coastal bend, we're looking at anywhere near 3, 5, or even up to 9 degrees warmer at this hour today compared to we were at this point yesterday. So again, that moisture already causing a bit of an increase with our air temperatures waking up this morning on Thursday, and again increasing ahead for us with our feel like temperatures by this afternoon. Now waking up with our temperatures again reaching towards those mid to upper 70s, even lower 80s for areas that are a little bit more closer to the coast, including Rockport and over in Port Aransas. So again, already feeling that moisture doing its increase in terms of how that heat is going to interact with us throughout the day today on our Thursday. Looking at our planner, again, we're going to see a little bit more cloud cover throughout the day this morning and heading towards this afternoon. A bit of a mixture of some sunshine along with those clouds in our skies. Temperatures reaching towards those upper 80s by 11 o'clock this morning, and eventually those upper 90s by this afternoon. 1 o'clock though, just approaching those mid 90s at 95 degrees. Anywhere between, of course, 2 and 4 o'clock, that's we'll see our hottest conditions, our hottest temperatures of the day, and we're forecasting a high temperature of 98 degrees here in Corpus Christi. But those air temperatures, well, again, those are still near record highs and still hot. Nonetheless, the main concern is going to be an increase of those feel like temperatures due to that moisture pushing its way to the coastal bend today. Here in Corpus Christi, potentially seeing our hottest feel like temperature of 106 degrees over the course of our afternoon. But again, inland portions of the coastal bend could be looking at their feel like temperatures reaching nearby 110 degrees this afternoon. So as you can imagine, heat risk is only going to worsen and have more concern related to that for us today and for this upcoming weekend. Anywhere between that moderate to major risk of heat danger, especially for inland neighborhoods by this afternoon. Ahead for us on our Friday, can see a little bit more of an extension eastward with some of those splotches of red coming in, again still indicating that major risk of heat danger, and also a couple splotches of purple for inland portions of the coastal bend tomorrow and ahead for us on our Saturday, letting you know that moisture is only going to increase and then thereby worsen our heat danger ahead for us by this weekend. So you just want to make sure you're practicing that heat safety all throughout the next few days to keep yourself safe. And also just a reminder for those heat alerts, we're going to be nearby that criteria. It only reaches 110 degrees and holding that temperature for at least 2 hours or more to have that heat alert go into effect. Right now, no heat alerts in place, but just make sure you're practicing that heat safety as that heat and humidity sticks around up towards this upcoming weekend.
Now, 6 things to know before you go.
All right, folks, it is that time yet again. Here are the 6 things you need to know before you head out the door. So the proposed redistricting map for the Texas 38 seats in the U.S. House of Representatives has officially been released.
Now, the map would give Republicans an additional 5 seats in the House based on 2024 election results. Going off that 2024 data, the map features 30 districts that Trump would have won in 2024. Up from 27 under current district lines. There are also 5 more seats that he would have won by more than 10 points.
The Texas Select Committee on Disaster Preparedness and Flooding will hold a meeting in Kerrville today. The meeting comes less than a month after flash flooding in the area killed more than 100 people, including young campers. State lawmakers will discuss legislation that includes emergency warning systems, flood safety requirements for youth camps, and a disaster recovery loan program for small businesses. 2 people are still considered missing after the July 4th flooding, including one of the young girls from Camp Mystic.
A court hearing is scheduled to take place in Boston today in a lawsuit against the Trump administration over its plan to end a FEMA grant program. That program was aimed at helping protect against future disasters. It provides grants for a variety of disaster mitigation efforts. The suit alleges that the Trump administration overstepped Congress in its attempt to end the program.
And President Donald Trump is adding a new tariff on imported copper. A 50% tariff will hit semi-finished copper products like pipes, wires, and sheets starting August 1st. Some exemptions will apply for items already covered by auto tariffs. Trump said that the move will boost the American copper industry. The U.S. imported $17 billion worth of copper last year. Critics warned the new tariffs could drive up prices for electronics, machinery, and even cars.
Free physicals will be offered today just in time for the new school year. They will be offered from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the auxiliary small gym at the Veterans Memorial High School. Students must have their UIL medical history form completed and signed. The event is sponsored by County Commissioners Brent Chesney and Joe A. Gonzalez.
And the Bay Jammin' Concert and Cinema Series continues tonight over Cole Park Amphitheater. Live music starts at 7:30 and runs until 10:30 on Friday. Be sure to stop on by and check out Paddington in Peru. The movie starts after sunset. Be sure to bring your lawn chairs, maybe a blanket or two, and some snacks to enjoy the movie. The event is free and open to the public.
Alrighty, good morning. I'm taking a live look outside of our Skycam over top SPID, where you can see things are looking pretty good in terms of your traffic flow heading out the door to get you started on this Thursday morning. Got a little bit of some more neighbors that you could probably see heading on those roadways on SPID, but still moving pretty well with no traffic hiccups in sight, at least as we take a look at our Skycam here. Let's go ahead and look at our traffic flow map, see what you can expect on other roadways throughout the area. I saw on our Skycam, things were a bit busy on SPID, but still got some good traffic flow happening at a pretty fast pace. Same thing on Ocean Drive heading on Saratoga as well. Moving on over towards Flower Bluff, same thing, moving well on Waldron Road and on Flower Bluff Drive with those shades of green there, and a little bit of a median speed as you get a little bit closer towards the gate at NAS Corpus Christi. But other than that, heading on Flower Bluff all across those roadways, still looking at pretty easy driving conditions. And same thing on the JFK Causeway going to and from the island, looking at easy driving conditions with those shades of green, indicating you got some fast traffic flow heading to and from the island this Thursday morning. That's it for your traffic report. The details of your forecast coming up.
Next week is World Breastfeeding Week, but it's not just for new moms. It's for everyone. I'm Michaela Chavez, your neighborhood news reporter on the South Side. I'm showing you how some upcoming events are educating families and getting them connected with resources, all to create lasting change. World Breastfeeding Week started in 1992.
I used to participate there in Puerto Rico with that event.
But it wasn't always celebrated locally.
And when I moved here, I'm like, there's no World Breastfeeding Week celebration in town.
That's why Elizabeth Santos Pagan started hosting seminars to educate and support families.
Challenges during breastfeeding, myths about breastfeeding, and other fun things like baby massage, like a soap making class. We will have a play group.
For the last 4 years, it's been helping moms, including Allison and her daughter Evelyn.
Always wanted to be a mom.
Evelyn was actually part of the celebration last year, in a way.
I was pregnant with her last year when all the events were happening, and so that helped me prepare for having her, and so it was really knowledgeable.
These seminars aren't just for parents. They're also open to advocates, like birth doula Melanie Sandoval.
This is not just a passion, it's a legacy that I want to build, because I know what it's like to go through the trenches. I'm still going through the trenches. I'm a single mother of 3.
When Melanie was invited to join the lineup, she didn't think twice.
I saw somebody powerful. I was like, she's doing things down there.
Starting Friday through Thursday, seminars will be held with different activities and speakers. And the best part? It's all free, because while breastfeeding can be a beautiful bond, it can also be challenging.
It's not as easy as it sounds.
It's not that you are a failure because you are using this milk or the other. There's options.
At the end of the day, advocates like Elizabeth want families to feel educated and empowered during this big life transition. The first education event is on Friday at 10 at Kennedy Dental in Saratoga. And you can learn more about all of these events by visiting our website. With your neighborhood news on the South Side, I'm your Sunrise reporter, Michaela Chavez, Chris 6 Sunrise.
Michaela, thank you so much. Here's a look at what's trending now. Oreo and Reese's are rolling out 2 new treats that combine flavors from both snacks. The sweet collaboration is a rare partnership between 2 brands owned by different companies. One of the new creations is a revamped version of a 2014 cookie that used Reese's peanut butter. The new version has Oreo cookie crumbs in the filling, and the other new snack is a Reese's Oreo cup. It replaces the chocolate on a Reese's cup with Oreo's milk chocolate and white cream, and is filled with peanut butter and Oreo cookie crumbs. Both will be available starting in September.
This looks amazing.
It does.
Hey, you got some Oreo in my Reese's.
I don't know. Is there a saying or something that I'm missing?
There you, thank you. Thank you for the assist, Julia.
I
can
never
count
heard
on
that.
you for the backup there. Oh, man, that looks
Especially with the snacky.
so delicious. Okay, I remember, do you guys remember the Oreos with the Reese's on the inside?
Oh.
I was all about that. I got boxes and boxes of this, so I'm so excited for this right now. By the way, as soon as we see this in grocery stores, we got to stock up.
In
Stock
September.
Up.
So is it a limited edition thing?
I think so,
I
yeah.
would imagine. Oh man, I might get some too. That looks really good.
Yeah, we might have to have a taste
That's
test right here on Chris 6 Sunrise.
Holy shit, that's a dangerous snack though. My gosh, so much sugar.
Yep.
Oh,
Are we going to
You can
bounce
just
off
have
the wall?
one. Moderation, right?
What's moderation? Julia and I will just mow down on it.
I would like to have more. I would like to have more self-control than that. I don't know if I can because that sounds so good, but fingers crossed when we get there.
Eat it all. Do it
no,
now.
No, and honestly, especially in this weather, you don't want to probably make your stomach too heavy with
That's
any
true.
sweets or anything in that matter for any of your meals. You want to make sure your body's trying to stay kind of light along with the light colored clothing, especially with all that heat and humidity on the way for us by this morning and heading towards this afternoon. Things are going to be feeling really oppressive for us as that influx of moisture starts to approach its way into the area. We'll see a big kick with our temperatures increasing towards those upper 90s still near record highs. But again, feel like temperatures skyrocketing nearby 110 degrees by the time we reach this afternoon. So I kind of already mentioned some of my bullet points behind me here as we take a look at your forecast at a glance here. That increase in moisture, again, adding towards more humidity. That's also going to translate to a little bit more cloud cover that we're already seeing across our skies waking up this morning. But again, the big picture here in terms of what this humidity is going to do for us is really kick up our heat danger and heat risk, take us nearby that criteria where heat alerts could be necessary in the coming days, because we'll be seeing our heat index values, otherwise known as our feel like temperatures, reaching nearby 110 degrees for some neighborhoods by this afternoon. But thankfully, this moisture is causing a bit of a positive note in terms of our visibility across the majority of our neighborhoods, looking pretty good. Alice, starting to see a little bit some fog developing in your neighborhood right now, but for the most part, this is improvement either way compared to yesterday, where we were dealing with majority of our inland and northern neighborhoods dealing with that dense patchy fog. So thankfully not the case for us this morning on this Thursday. Looking at our temperature and feel like temperatures across the area, again, we can already see that warm up happening for us, due to that moisture and humidity increasing. So our temperatures up around 5, maybe up to 6 degrees warmer this morning compared to some communities, compared to yesterday, with that moisture coming into the area. So what does this all mean for your dog walking forecast? First, let's go ahead and introduce our star for today. We got Madison here, and Madison will definitely want to take that dog walk earlier rather than later, or if you want to do a late night one, do that, but you just don't want to have their poor paws out there on that pavement during the afternoon, because again, we'll see those air temperatures still reaching near record highs into the upper 90s, and our feel like temperatures now joining that and exceeding that, reaching nearby 110 degrees throughout some neighborhoods this afternoon. But looking at our morning, things will be comfortable enough to head outdoors for that dog walk. Temperatures reaching towards those mid to upper 80s by 10 o'clock this morning, and then approaching those 90s by lunchtime. So again, prime time hours for that dog walk really looks to be now until maybe around 11 o'clock this morning, where you want to get that done. Because again, by this afternoon, feel like temperatures reaching towards those high triple digits, and air temperatures in those upper 90s across the area. Again, looking at a forecast high temperature of 98 degrees here in Corpus Christi. Got a little bit mix of some cloud cover out there, but still we'll see some sunshine. And again, that humidity is going to add towards why we'll be seeing those feel like temperatures skyrocket this afternoon. Here in Corpus Christi, though, going to see those values reach towards nearby 106 degrees. Either way, heat risk and heat danger is still going to be part of our picture here, so you still want to make sure you're practicing heat safety, because we'll see that heat risk extend from that major to even that extreme zone as we look ahead for tomorrow and for your upcoming Saturday. So good weather to spend some time outdoors safely, though, so you want to make sure you're wearing that sunscreen, drink water, and please take breaks and spend some time in some air conditioning too.
Good stuff, Julia. Thank you so much. And folks, thank you so much for joining us on Chris 6 Sunrise. We hope to see you later at noon for more news from your neighborhood.
Yes, ma'am. Have a good one, guys.